Hi, I hope I'm audible. I'll be waiting for about 5 6 minutes more just to see if there are other people joining, and then I'll start. All right, I think I'll start now. I hope I'm audible to everyone. So good evening. I'm Anakha Nair and I'm a PhD scholar at IIT Bombay, and I'll be taking these Tuesday sessions for the problem solving session that we are going to have for the NPTEL course. Post harvest operations, processing of fruit, vegetables, spices, and plantation crop products. So I'll just explain in brief for those of you who are joining for the first time how this works. So there will be two problem solving sessions, one on Sunday and one on Tuesday. Both of them are taken by different people. I'm the one who's taking it on Tuesdays, and another TA will be taking it on Sunday, and the questions will be the same. So you can choose which one you want to um, join depending on your free time, right? So they'll be 2 hour sessions, and we'll be taking around 10 to 20 questions in each session, and there'll be questions which will be similar to what you have in your assignment questions, and for each week it will be based on that week's module. So most of these, for now at least, are theory questions. So all it will just give you a flavor of what sort of assignment questions there will be, and maybe even get you let you know how to solve them. But they're not the same as the assignment questions. We will not be discussing the assignment questions till the due date has gone. All right. So let's move on to the first question. So you can stop me anytime you have a doubt, right? And please try to engage in the class. So when I'll give you a question, maybe if you know the answer, you can write it in the chat if you don't want to unmute yourself and answer, right? So they'll be very simple questions. They'll just be mostly theory questions that you've already studied in this week's module. Okay. So I hope for your interaction. All right. So the first question is all of the questions this week are simple. So, which among the following methods is not typically used for cleaning fruits and vegetables? There are four options given to you: dry cleaning, brushing, chemical peeling, and washing. So, do you want to guess which is the answer, or if do you know which is the answer? If you know the answer, just write it in the chat. Or if you want to guess the answer also, you can write it in the chat. No problem. Option B. All right.
Brushing.
Brushing. All right. So, if you read the question carefully, what they're asking is, which among the following method is not typically used for cleaning fruits and vegetables, right? So, the emphasis is on not. So, dry cleaning, brushing, and washing are all used, right? It's chemical peeling which is usually not used. Okay. So dry cleaning, brushing, and washing are used. So in dry cleaning, you're, maybe with a towel or something, you're cleaning or using air, right? You're cleaning the surface of the fruits and vegetables. Brushing, you're using a brush to clean whatever debris you have on top of the fruits and vegetables. And washing, you're using water. But chemical peel is typically not used to clean the fruits and vegetables, right? It's for the packaging purpose that you end up doing chemical peeling, not for cleaning, right? Does anyone have a doubt in this question or the answer? If you have any doubts, you can either unmute yourself or write it in the chat. Yeah, all right. All right. So let's move on to the next question. So the next question is, which of the following statement is or are correct with respect to sizing of fruits and vegetables? So one thing you need to ensure, or one thing you need to know when you're answering these questions, in which statement is or are correct. So this is or are is indicating the fact that it is not a MCQ. This is a MSQ. There can be one or more answers, right? So answer accordingly. There are four options given to you. Sizing of fruits and vegetables is done either by hand or machine. Option 2 is machine sizers work on three basic principles, that is, weight, diameter, and volume. Option 3 is sizing rollers increase spaces between rollers to separate larger produce from smaller ones. And option 4 is mesh screens are generally used for sizing citrus fruits? So out of these four options, which do you think is or are correct? Option 1, 3, and 4. All right. Does anyone have any other answer? 2, 3, and 4. All right. So let's see what the answers are, right? So the answers are 1 and 3. So sizing of the fruit and vegetable can either be done by hand, where by hand and with the help of your vision, you are able to figure out that these fruits are larger and these are smaller, right? And you can separate them based on that, or using a machine. So maybe a machine like a roller, where a few rollers are close by and a few are farther away from each other. So when the fruits or vegetables are going in this direction, the smaller ones will fall through here and the larger ones will fall through here, right? So something like that. So in that case, machine sizers work on three basic principles: weight, diameter, and volume, which is not correct. Machine sizers work on the principle of size, because it is sizing that we're talking about, right? Not weight, diameter, and volume, right? So it's the size. So diameter may fall in it, but volume and weight does not have anything to do with it, right? So option 3 is sizing rollers increase spaces between rollers to separate larger produce from smaller produce. So like in this example that I'd given here, where rollers are spaced, further apart from each other, and the first few rollers will let go of smaller fruits and vegetables, and the more you go on, the only larger fruits and vegetables will be able to fall. And mesh screens, something like this, right, are generally used for sizing citrus fruits, which is not correct. Citrus fruits, are larger, so they will not be used. Mesh screens are not used for this purpose. So only 1 and 3 are correct. Does anyone have any doubt in this question?
Oh my.
All right. So, um, oh yes, in this option 2, right? So I misspoke. So machine sizers work on weight and diameter, but not volume. Okay. So if it was only weight and diameter, that would have been correct, but volume is incorrect. So that's why this option is not correct. So let's move. Mesh screens for which fruits? So smaller fruits. So it could be, berries or seeds, very small things, or pulses. Okay. All right. So let's move on to question number 3. What is used for citrus fruits? So these, like these rollers, are used. So if you have a roller like this, and each roller is kept more further apart. So a citrus fruit of, if the orange is only this size, it will fall through here. If the orange is slightly larger, it will fall through here. If it's even slightly more larger, fall through here. All right, sure. So let's move on to the next question. The question is, abrasive and non-abrasive type of peeling come under which of the following types of peeling? All right, so there is mechanical, chemical, thermal, and enzymatic. What do you think the answer is? Option A. All right. All right.
Mechanical.
Chemical. Did you say chemical? I couldn't hear you properly.
Mechanical.
Mechanical. All right. Yes. So yes. So all of you have gotten the answer correct. So abrasive and non-abrasive type of peeling do come under mechanical type of peeling. So yes, that is the correct answer. Well done, everyone. So since there are no doubts in this, let's move on to question number 4. So question number 4 is, which washing method is most suitable for delicate commodities like berries and grapes? Berries and grapes are fruits which are very soft to touch, right? So which washing method is more suitable for washing them? Oh wait, did I? Yeah, I think I showed you the answer directly. Hmm. So I don't know if you guys noticed.
Children. Hmm.
Yeah. So yes. So the answer is option D, dry cleaning using air blowers. So what happens in soaking is, so in grapes, have you noticed if you pour water, if you keep it in water for a larger amount of time, right? What happens is they swell in size, right? And raisins you get like that only, right? If you dehydrate it, if you remove the water from grapes, it becomes raisins, right? If you dry it, so that changes the texture of the fruit. The and if you keep it in water for longer, there's more chance of mold developing. Same thing with water sprayer. If the water sprayer works in very high pressure, right? So what happens then is it can bruise soft fruits like grapes and berries, right? A rotating drum, because it is using mechanical force, right? It keeps rotating, and in that way it can damage the fruit. So the first three are therefore not the correct answer. Dry cleaning using air blowers at the correct speed is correct. So let's move on to question number 5. Does anyone have any doubt in that question? All right. So let's move on to question number 5, which is which of the following statement is correct about the use of sanitization agents? Okay. So sanitization agents like hypochlorite, etc., right? So sanitize agents can completely eliminate microbial contaminants. Sanitization agents should be stored separately from fresh produce. Employees must wear protective clothing when handling alkaline or acidic agents, and use of sanitization is regulated as pesticide agents. So, which do you think is the correct answer? All of them? Option C. All right. So let's see what the answer is. So the answer is 2, 3, and 4. So sanitizing agents cannot completely eliminate microbial contaminants. Okay, there is no guarantee that 100% of them will be removed. Okay, so they remove the most of the microbial contaminants that are present on fruits and vegetables, but there is no guarantee that all of them will be removed. Okay, so the first one is not correct. Sanitize agents cannot completely eliminate microbial contaminants. Okay. Sanitization agents should be stored separately from fresh produce. Yes. Employees must wear protective clothes when handling alkaline and acidic agents because they can be harmful for us also, right? And use of sanitizing agents is regulated as pesticide agents. Yes, so the same rules which apply to other pesticides is also applied to sanitizing agents, right? So only 2, 3, and 4 are correct. Option 1 is not correct. Does anyone have any doubt in this question? Yes, they are used for cleaning produce. Yes. What is the doubt about this? Can you clarify a little? Do you mean if they're being used as cleaning produce, why are they regulated as pesticide agents? Is that the doubt? Oh, so stored separately means, you do not like keep the fruits and vegetables in the sanitization agents forever, right? You will remove it. You're not keeping it together forever. And they should be stored separately. Like you do not keep the fruits and vegetables in the same space as you keep the sanitizing agents. Yeah, sure. Okay. So, any more doubts in this? All right. So, let's move on to the next question. So the question is which of the following is a volatile emission analyzer? NIR spectrometer, magnetic resonance imaging, ENOS, and X-ray imaging. So what do you think is the answer to this?
Option C.
Option C or B? Option C. All right. So, okay. Anyone has any other answers? No? All right. So, let's see what the answer is. So, the answer to this is option C, ENOS. So, NIR spectrometer, magnetic resonance imaging, and X ray imaging is not used for volatile emissions or any kind of emissions, right? ENOS is. So, it is, you know, it is technically based on the principle of how our nose works. That is why it's the e-nose. So there will be different gas analyzers inside the machine, right? And any gas that is produced by the fruits and vegetables can be analyzed by these gas sensors, right? So that is why it's e-nose. NIR spectrometer is used for things like analysis of moisture content, sugar content, etc. MRIs can be used for um, imaging the internal structure of the fruits and vegetables, and X-ray can be used for imaging internal defects or foreign bodies or what the density of the fruit is, etc. Right. So, any doubts in this question? All right. So let's move on to the next question. So question number 7 is, which of the following equipment is used to remove iron particles from spices? So in that case, when you grind spices, right? There might
Option C.
option.
C. Magnetic separator.
Yeah. All right. So all of you seem to know the answer already. It's option C, magnetic separator, because the particles that we're talking about right now is iron, right? So magnets can be used. They attract iron, right? So they can be used. So if you have spices, imagine, and they are mixed with iron, small iron particles, if you use a magnet, right, the iron particles will go and attach to them, and then you will get spices free from the iron particles. Any question in this? All of you have gotten the correct answer, right? So we'll move on to the next question. So the question number 8 is, which of the following statements are correct regarding cleaning operation for spices? There are four options given to you. Sifters remove particles based on size and shape. Option 2 is air tables separate based on density. Option 3 is destoners are used to remove heavy stones and pieces of rock. And 4, indent separator work on the principle of airflow. So which are correct? Option B and C. All right. Option, all right. Let's maybe see what the answer is. Option 1 and 4. Okay. Let's see what the answer is then. So 1, 2, 3 is correct. Option 4 is not correct. So why option 4 is not correct? So before we'll see what 1, 2, and 3 are correct, right? So in this case, what they're saying is, which of the following statements are correct regarding operation cleaning operation for spices, right? So sifters do remove particles based on size and shape, right? So in that case, it's a mesh. If you're sifting something through it, it will only allow particles of a certain size to fall through, and also of a certain shape to fall through, right? So air tables in which air is flowing, right, will remove based on density. Yes, these stoners are used to remove heavy stones and pieces of rock. Yes. Option 4, that is indent separators work on the principle of airflow, is incorrect because indent separators work on the difference in shape. So the separator will have indents like this, right? So imagine this is a portion of the separator, it will have indents. In this case, it's a circular indent. So only circular particles can fall into that indent, right? And get stuck there. If it is of any other shape, it will not. So in that way, you're removing, you're separating them, right? So you're cleaning them. Any doubt in this question? All right, I'm not seeing any doubts. All right. So question number 9 is, in the universal product code, the first dash number of digits are the number assigned to a specific producer, that is packer shipper. There are four options: 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what do you think the answer is? Option C. All right. Anyone else?
4.
4. All right. So maybe I should show you what it looks like, right? So the first number that you see is the number system character. The first five numbers that you see is the manufacturer's code. The next five that you see is the product code, and the last is the check digit, right? So the correct answer for this is option number D, which is 5. Any doubts in this question? All right. So let's move on to question number 10. All right. What is the following is used for the separating of spherical spice seeds from non-spherical matter? So I think the question should have been, which of the following is used for? Yeah. So I think that is incorrect in this. Which of the following is used for separating spherical spice seeds from non-spherical material? So there are four options given to you: air tables, pneumatic separators, indent separators, and spiral gravity separators. This is unlike the which of these are correct options. This is a MCQ, so there is only one correct answer. So most of you have seemed to guess it. So yeah. So then the correct answer is in fact option 4. Spiral gravity separator is used for separating spherical spice seeds from non-spherical material. Right. So let's move on to question number 11. Question number 11 is, which of the following statement is correct about dry cleaning? So there are three options given to you. Dry cleaning uses air blowers or dry brushes. Option 2 is, it is suitable for soft tissue and delicate commodities. And option 3 is, it uses chlorinated water for drying. So this is a very simple question, I think. Right? What do you think the correct answer is?
Option 1 and 2.
1 and 2, all right. Anyone else thinks it's something else? 1 and 2. Yes. So you guys are correct. It is in fact 1 and 2. So dry cleaning does use air blowers or dry brushes, and it is suitable for soft tissue and delicate commodities. Since it is dry cleaning, right? The name itself is telling you it does not use chlorinated water for cleaning. So all of you are correct. Well done. So let's move on to question number 12. Hydrogen peroxide comes under which of the following types of sanitizers? A is halogen, B is ionic compounds, C is active oxygen compounds, and D is irradiation and pulse light treatments. So, what do you think the correct answer is? Option C. All right.
Active oxygen compound.
Yes. So, the correct answer in this case is active oxygen compounds, because hydrogen peroxide does relieve reactive oxygen species, right? So, that is the correct answer. Halogens are, you know, wait, ionic compounds are those which release ions. Halogens are salt producing, right? So something like NaCl or something like that is halogens. And irradiation and pulse light treatments are obviously not hydrogen peroxide, since this is a chemical, right? So it's not irradiation or pulse treatments. So let's move on to question number 13, which is which peeling method is best suited for delicate fruits and vegetables? So there are four options given to you: abrasive peeling, mechanical peeling, hand peeling, and chemical peeling. So the question is for delicate fruits and vegetables. Option C, all right. Yes, option C. Yes, you've got the correct
Option
answer. Yeah. So hand peeling is the surest, best way that you can do for delicate fruit and vegetables. Abrasive peeling, mechanical peeling, both are not used for such fruits. They are used for hardy fruits and vegetables, which do not get damaged when using these methods. And the same thing is with chemical peeling. So these are not correct. Hand peeling, in which you can control how much to peel, how much pressure to put, is the best way to peel delicate fruits and vegetables. Right. So let's move on to question number 14. Question number 14 is which of the following statements about uh, flexible plant plastic films is are correct? There are four options. Plastic films like LDPE, PVC, PP, and CA are used for packaging horticulture produce. Option 2 is these films are mainly used as pouches with holes punched at regular intervals to allow respiration. Option 3 is they are available in a narrow range of thickness and grades. And option 4 is they cannot be engineered to control the environmental gases inside the pouch. So since again this are is our correct question, so there might be multiple answers. 1 and 2. All right. Anyone else? 1 and 2. All right. All right. So let's see the answer. So the answer is in fact 1 and 2. So plastic films like LDPE, PVC, PP, and CA are used for packaging horticulture produce. Yes, these films are mainly used for pouches, as pouches, correct, with holes. So if you buy something in a plastic pouch, you would have seen that there are holes, right? And which are punched at regular intervals to allow respiration of the fruits, right? They are available in a narrow range of thickness and grades. That is not correct. So they are available in a broad range. So you can get plastic of very different kinds of thickness and different grades also, right? And they cannot be engineered to control the environmental gases inside the pouch is also not correct. So different plastic films can have, can allow different kinds of gases to pass through them. If you know such properties of the film, you can use those films to produce pouches. Yes, you can use those films to produce pouches in which only certain gases, like if imagine this is a plastic that allows only oxygen to pass through, right? And any other gas has to remain inside. Okay, you can do that. You can engineer the plastic to control the gases which are inside the pouch and which leave the pouch, right? Any doubts in this question? No doubts?
no, ma'am.
All right. So let's move on to question number 15, right? Which is which of the following factors does not affect the peeling process? So there are four options given to you: skin thickness, firmness, color of the peel, and rupture force. So rupture force in this case means the amount of pressure that is required to rupture that fruit or vegetable. So option C. Anyone else?
Option C.
All right. All right. So let's see what the answer is. Yes, the color of the peel does not matter in the peeling process, but the skin thickness does. Depending on the thickness of the skin, you will choose the peeling process. If it is very thin, you cannot use the abrasive method. If it is slightly thicker, you can use the abrasive method, right? The firmness, if it is very soft, again, it depends what kind of peeling process you will use. If it's slightly harder and it does not affect the fruit or vegetable much, that also, right? And rupture force, so whatever peeling process you're using, there'll be some amount of force that you're putting on the fruit or vegetable, right? So it should be less than the rupture force, right? So if you use something that is equal to or more, what happens is the fruit of the vegetable will rupture. So the color of the peel has no effect on the peeling process at all, right? So any doubts in this question?
No, ma'am.
All right. So let's move on to question number 16. Question number 16 is, which of the following statement is related to the trimming of grapes, right? So once the grapes are harvested in a bunch, right? So you trim off certain parts of the grape. Now, why is that done? So there are four options given to you. Trimming of bunches is done to remove the undersized berries. Option 2 is trimming of bunches is done to remove the mature berries. Option 3 is trimming of bunches is done to remove dried berries. And option 4 is trimming of bunches is done to remove damaged berries. So, what do you think the correct answer is? 3 and 4.
Option 3 and 4.
Alright. So, let's see what the answer is. So, the correct answer is 1, 3, and 4. So, first option is stating that trimming of bunches is used to remove undersized berries, which is correct. So they will not have ripened, right? So if your bunch has, imagine, larger berries like this, and there are like smaller berries, these would not be ripened also most of the cases, right? So they have to be removed. Trimming of bunches is done to remove dried berries. So sometimes what happens is they go bad, or because they were more in contact to the sunlight, they dry out, right? Or something like that has happened and they become dried, so they are also not desirable, so you trim to remove those also. uh, and trimming of bunches is done to remove the damaged berries. Yes, so again, maybe some infestation has happened, or during the harvesting process some of them have gotten damaged, so you trim to remove those damaged portions also. The reason why option 2 is not correct is because you do not remove the mature berries. You want the mature berries, right? So that is not the correct answer in this case. Does anyone have any doubt? All right. So the last question for today is, which of the following statements are correct regarding the storage of fruits and vegetables? There are four options. Cold storage reduces respiration rate. Controlled atmosphere storage maintains specific gas concentration. And ethylene gas accelerate ripening. Option 4 is high humidity is detrimental to all fruits and vegetables. So, which of the following statements is or are correct regarding storage of fruits and vegetables?
All options.
All of the options? Do you want to try once more? There is one which is not correct. Anyone? 1 and 2. All right. 3 is not correct. All right. So, all right. So let's see what the correct answer is, right? So the correct answer is 1, 2, and 3. So cold storage does reduce respiration rate because certain enzymes in the fruits and vegetables will only work, above certain temperatures, because even enzymes require a temperature range to work, right? So if you store them in colder conditions, it reduces the working of these enzymes and these processes in the fruit, and that's why that, and because of that the respiration rate also decreases. That is why you store fruits and vegetables in fridge, right? Option 2, controlled atmospheric storage maintains specific gas concentration. Yes, so it does maintain specific gas concentration. So what you do is, uh, you're controlling the storage, atmospheric storage, right? So in that case there will be a certain gas concentration that the fruits and vegetables excel in. So using that knowledge you will control the atmospheric storage of the fruits and vegetables. Ethylene gas in certain fruits at least does accelerate ripening, so in fruits like bananas, etc., right? So if you bombard them with ethylene gas, they will ripen faster, right? It is also a natural plant hormone. The fruits themselves will be producing ethylene gas when they ripen, and they will influence any fruits together with them to also ripen. So if you have a very ripe banana and you put it right next to unripe bananas, the unripe bananas will ripen faster, right? So this is only true for climatic fruits. Only climatic fruits like bananas, mangoes, tomatoes, etc. can be ripened using ethylene. Non-climatic fruits such as pomegranate, etc. do not. So even they should be harvested only when they're mature. If you harvest them before that, they will never ripen, right? They will spoil later, but they will not ripen. But you can, cut bananas which are you can harvest bananas which are uh, grown in size but not ripened, and you can after they are cut they can still get ripened, right? So that increases the amount of time you have in the other processes like transportation, etc. High humidity is detrimental to all fruits and vegetables is not correct. So high humidity is mostly beneficial for most fruits and vegetables as it reduces water loss. So in a condition where it is very dry, what happens is the fruits and vegetables will get dehydrated, they will shrink, right? So if you notice, there is a humidity condition also in your fridges, so to maintain that humidity, right? But it cannot be too high a humidity, right? Because in too high humidities you will have fungal or bacterial growth also. So it has to be a optimum amount of humidity where the fruit does not dry and where the fungal growth does not happen. We need to prevent overripe. In this question, ethylene should be limited. Yes. So in that case, ethylene, the limit of ethylene, how we decide is how long do we want this fruit to take to ripen. So in Korea there is these bananas. So how they sell bananas is they have a banana which is very green, they have a banana slightly less green, slightly less green, and finally a proper uh, you know ripened banana. So what happens is they realized everyone doesn't need to eat, like everyone doesn't eat all the bananas together, right? So what usually happens is we buy a bunch of bananas, and by the end of like 2 3 days the last banana would already started being overripe and not very nice to eat. So in this case, using their technology, what they have done is this first banana you can eat the first day. By the time 2 days go by, this one will be ripened, then this one will be ripened, and this one will be ripened. So in this case, if you know how much ethylene gas is needed, right, you can control how long the fruit will take to ripen. Ethylene, so therefore it should be limited if you want ripening not to happen fast, right? But if you want ripening to happen fast, you want to prepare something tomorrow, you have an avocado, right? But it is not yet ripe, so ethylene would be good at that point, right? We need to prevent overripe. I didn't understand this question. Is it that ethylene should be limited to prevent overripening? Is that what this was? If there is too much ethylene, it will overripe. So you control the ethylene gas, the one that is naturally being produced from the fruits, and the one that you might give to the fruits for ripening to happen. Yes, that is correct. Oh, yes. So that is why you thought. Yes. So, yes, so that is, in fact, so what you're saying is, so this option is not suitable for storage, is in the thing that this is not saying that you will give ethylene gas in the storage. It is saying ethylene gas will accelerate ripening, and you need to keep that in your thought when you are, storing your fruits and vegetables. So that was the crux of this option. So if the option said that you should give ethylene gas while storing, then this would have been wrong. So you were correct in that way, right? All right. So these are all the questions for today. Does anyone have any doubts in any of the questions, or any other doubt that I might help solve? or any questions that you want me to repeat? All right. So, all right. So, those of you who have joined, thank you so much for joining. So, that will be all for today. We'll have the next session on Tuesday, or if another session of the same questions on Sunday, right? So, you can choose to join whichever you want. So, thank you so much for joining. It was great having you. You may leave the call if you have no doubts. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, there are two of you remaining. Do you have any doubts or something to discuss, or any, or if you want me to repeat some questions or anything like that? You can just write it in the chat in case you're not feeling comfortable unmuting yourself. Sneha, do you have a doubt or something you would like to discuss or something like that? Sneha, can you hear me? Am I audible to you? You can just write in the chat if I'm uh, audible, that is. To the two of you, do you have any doubt regarding any of the questions or anything else, or if you want me to repeat any questions? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Anu, properly. You can just write in the chat. Am I audible to the both of you? I have taken all the questions for today. So my doubt is, do you have any doubts in any of the questions that I've taken, or if you want me to repeat some of the questions, or if you have any other doubts regarding something else, I'll be happy to help you out. Hi guys, am I audible? Like there is no response in the chat either. Is there something that you have a doubt in any of the questions, or if you want me to retake any of the questions? I'll only be able to help you out if you guys do tell me, because I've taken all the questions, so I'm not sure if you were there for the entirety of it or not. So only if you tell me will I be able to help you.
मैम ये क्वेश्चन आगे क्यों नहीं बढ़ रहा है? हाँ, यस मैम। मैम मेरा फोन ना हैंडसेट पे था और हम तब से बैठ बैठ के क्वेश्चन देख रहे हैं। हम सोचे अब आगे कुछ होगा, अब कुछ आगे होगा। एक बार आप वो टेक्स्ट भी किए हैं तो आप स्नेहा का नाम लिखे थे तो फिर हम कुछ बोले भी नहीं। आई एम सॉरी मैम। ओ मैम सेशन सेशन जो भी जो सेशन देखे हैं उसके रिगार्ड मतलब उसमें से पूछ सकते हैं। मतलब जो हमारा वीक वाइज जो क्लास हो रहा था उसमें से डाउट पूछ सकते हैं। मैम वो जो रेस्पिरेशन ये क्वेश्चन भी रेस्पिरेशन रेट से रिलेटेड मतलब जो था ना सेकेंड वीक का थर्ड या फोर्थ लेक्चर था उसमें ना मतलब रेस्पिरेशन जो रेट है उस उसको डिफाइन किया मतलब उस वाले पेज में यही था कि कैसे किसी भी प्रोडक्ट के रेस्पिरेशन रेट को मैनेज करके हम उसका जो सेल्फ लाइफ है उसको इंक्रीज करते हैं। तो मैम ये स्टेटमेंट तो पता है कि कुछ जो रेस्पिरेशन रेट है वो रिलेटेड है उसको स्टोरेज से, लेकिन हमको ये एग्जैक्ट नहीं समझ में आता है कि रेस्पिरेशन रेट जैसे किसी किसी जैसे कोई फ्रूट है कोई वेजिटेबल है तो उसका रेस्पिरेशन रेट लो रखेंगे तो सेल्फ लाइफ बढ़ेगा या हाई करेंगे तो सेल्फ लाइफ बढ़ेगा। ये रेस्पिरेशन। हाँ हाँ। अगर आप हाई है तो वो जल्दी स्पॉइल हो जाएगा। यस मैम। ज्यादा दिन तक नहीं रहता। मैम तो जो ये पेरिसेबल आइटम हो गया उसमें ये देख रहे हैं। तो जब जो हमारा प्रोडक्ट है जैसे कि स्पाइसेस हो गया फिर ये ड्राई फ्रूट्स हो गया तो इन सब का क्या होता है? प्रोसेस। मैम तो स्पाइसेस और ड्राई फ्रूट का हार्वेस्टेड है मतलब हमको समझ में नहीं आया। हम्म। मैम जैसे मैंगो का हम पिकल बनाते हैं तो मैंगो को तो पीस पीस में हम कट कर देते हैं। तो तब भी उसमें रेस्पिरेशन हो रहा होता है, तब भी उसमें रेस्पिरेशन हो रहा होता है। तो फिर ऐसा क्यों कहते हैं कि पिकल पिकल बना के, तो फिर क्यों कहते हैं कि पिकल बनाने से भी सेल्फ लाइफ बढ़ गया? हाँ। यस मैम। वो जैम, जेली, सॉस। हाँ। हुँ। हाँ। यस। नहीं। हाँ। हुँ। कोल्ड। यस मैम। यस मैम। यस मैम। नो मैम, अभी तो मतलब जितना लेक्चर किए थे उसमें मेरे को ये बिल्कुल समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कि मतलब जो रेस्पिरेशन रेट है उसका जो ये हम लोग ये पिकल बनाते हैं, और ये जो ड्राई फ्रूट और स्पाइसेस वाला था, तो ये हम ना इन तीनों को लिंक करके समझ रहे थे, तो अब समझ आ गया कि ये तीनों अलग अलग चीजें। यस मैम। हाँ। यस मैम। नो मैम।